A new diet, a better exercise routine, or even getting a better grasp on finances all seem like noble gestures to start the new year, but maintaining those pledges is not as easy as it would seem. According to the Baylor College of Medicine, 88% of people will give up on their New Year's resolutions by the second week of January. In fact, Friday, January 9th has already been dubbed Quitter's Day, since that's when most people are expected to forgo their commitments. WGCU's Jennifer Crawford has more on how people can make plans stick for 2026.
For more on how you can maintain your New Year's resolutions, we are joined by Danielle Pashko, a functional nutritionist and certified health coach. Ms. Pashko, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
By January 1st, most people are happy to make plans for a better year, but shortly after making well-intentioned New Year's resolutions, many of us fail to keep them. Why is that?
I think many people have all the best intentions to keep their resolutions. It's just that their resolutions many times are unrealistic and they don't have the energetic capacity to keep it going.
One of the most popular resolutions is getting in shape, losing weight. Is there a difference, though, in getting in shape and beginning a path towards a healthy life?
Definitely. So, getting in shape, especially if you're trying to keep it, in my opinion, it's not just about pounding yourself at the gym, but it's really about doing practices that start to build up your life force, help you to cultivate more energy so you have the stamina to withstand maintaining it every day. Because otherwise, if you start burning yourself out too soon with these super heavy practices, no pain, no gain, it's just very hard to stick.
And a gym membership might work great for some, but you also recommend trying ancient practices like Tai Chi. Now, what benefits do those exercises have that might make people stick to their resolutions?
Yes, I gave up going to the gym a long time ago. I happen to like practices like Tai Chi and Qigong because they help to move energy throughout the body. And they also many times are practiced in nature. I tend to do them outside. I know it's a little chilly if you're in the northern states, but getting outside and possibly even grounding, doing it barefoot, not having any soles on your shoes, you're starting to get energy from the earth. And then you're taking that energy with the grounding and doing the movements really start to build up your life force. They really stabilize you and they really help with fatigue. And we sometimes imagine these practices to be just for people, maybe our grandparents, but actually anyone who's young could tremendously benefit not only for their health and their strength, but their brain capacity.
And how important is mindfulness and maintaining a positive outlook when you're trying to stick to these newly created healthy habits?
Mindfulness is a way of life. It's really important when you're trying to maintain these types of practices because if you don't have the right mindset, you're not going to be able to stick with it. And mindfulness also moves into other areas of your life when you're talking about even the way that you eat, the decisions you make regarding foods you ingest or supplements that you ingest. Anything like that has to be very mindful and even intuitive rather than just taking things or doing things because you see them as trends.
And a lot of us want to see and feel instant results, but it's not realistic. What is realistic to readjust your body, a time frame?
So, realistic expectations come with doing things that help you to energize. So, it's not just about your workouts and your eating are healthy, but also doing small things. So, first, just to get your energy going, I have a dog. So, for me, it's easy to go out first thing in the morning and walk him and get some sunlight in my eyes. And guys, that's really something that you want to do because that helps to set your circadian rhythms. It helps to energize you and brings you into a state where you feel like you have the energy to start doing things. The grounding is very important. And then once you start doing these practices like the movement, you'll find that it just starts to flow much more naturally. And as you start to exercise and feel good, you're going to want to fuel your body better with better choices of food.
So true. And a new workout is always a very good place to start, but diet is equally as important. And what mistakes do you find people make with their nutrition when they're starting a new workout routine?
Well, I think when I talk about energy and the mechanics of even exercising, there's also energetic principles regarding our eating, and we want to eat things that have a higher vibration, that are healthier, that are more natural. If we can get foods from places like farmers markets, health food stores, obviously not processed. I like an anti-inflammatory diet or Mediterranean diet. It's kind of bio-individual what you choose. But in addition to diet, we're in the United States, and unfortunately, our food supply is not necessarily the healthiest, even when it's organic. So, supplementing is can be very beneficial, and that's why I also really like to incorporate herbs, which also are cultivated in nature for their energetic properties in any kind of routine. And there's actually an emerging science right now. I'm a functional nutritionist, and I've been watching this trend of what's called quantum Ayurveda. And how it ties into energy is that, let's say you're taking a supplement like turmeric, which we all know is good for inflammation or potentially pain. But it goes back to the no pain, no gain approach. We don't want to bombard somebody with a laundry list of supplements or herbs. So quantum Ayurveda actually works, and that these herbs are tuned with an energetic frequency. I know it sounds a little woo, but there's science behind it, and they become more bioavailable at lower dosages. So my feeling for people is to try to get the most through the energetics of food, of your herbs, and also through your workouts. So green space herbs is actually one of the pioneers doing this right now.
That's very interesting. Well, what is the most important thing people should know about making a New Year's resolution and keeping it?
Slow and steady. Really be realistic with yourself. And I think, do not compare yourself to other people. Platforms like social media make you feel like, wow, look at that person at the gym. They're really working out hard, and they are doing all these things, and they're so strict with their diet. If only I can do that and be like them. And maybe that's aspirational, but you have to meet yourself where you are. And so that's why you don't have to commit to going to the gym for an hour every single day. Doing practices like Tai Chi and Qigong, they're kind of like micro practices that can take 10 minutes a day to build up your energy. Doing grounding is a quick practice that you can do. Learning to do things in a slow and steady pace that keep you incentivized and motivated. And as you start feeling really well, you're just going to say, I feel good, and I really want to maintain this. And I think we have to get away from the mentality of more is better. And sometimes softer is where the strength is.
You have given us some great information, very, very helpful. And thank you so much
Thank
for joining us today, Ms. Pashko.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching. We've got more great content for you, from news to the arts to the environment. So be sure to like and subscribe to WGCU's YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms for the stories that matter to you.